Hi everyone, welcome to the video. Today we are going to solve sequence of sequence. Now in this question we are given two values m and n, and we have to prepare sequences and we have to return the number of such sequences, special sequences. And what are the special sequences? So you are given two integers m and you have to prepare sequences of length n, okay, and any character of that sequence should be less than or equal to the m, which is the maximum value, and all the integers in that sequence will be greater than 0, which is positive integers. And also for any uh, integer I in a sequence, the I plus 1 sequence will be twice or more than that, which means that I plus 1 sequence will be more than or equal to twice of that particular sequence integer. So we will be understanding using example 1. You are given m, which is the maximum value of our sequence. N is the number of values which can be in a sequence. So we can see there are four values: 1, 2, 4, 8. See, any character is all the characters are positive. The I plus 1 value is double or more than double. Okay. Also, they are smaller than or equal to m. So as you can see in the last example, last such sequence starts from 1 positive value. Successive values are double or more than that, and the maximum permissible value of the sequence is the m. Okay, so and similarly in example 2 also you are given maximum value 5 m, and maximum length of sequence should be 2, and these are the such sequences. Okay, so we can solve this question using recursion, but I'm not sure whether it will be able to pass it. uh, so I will be, because it will include obviously redundant calculations, so I will be using a dp in order to solve, so that it will provide a better computational power. Okay, so I will initially create a dp of size m plus 1 n plus 1 and will fill it with all the minus ones. Minus 1 will indicate whether this particular cell has been calculated or not. If it is minus 1, then it means it has not been calculated. If it is not minus 1, which means this value for this cell has been calculated and do not need to do any redundant calculations. So I will create a result variable which will store our final result for I in range, which it will start from 1 to m plus 1, because we do not need any negative values. Okay, now this will store. I will create a utility function. It will be having I. Okay, obviously this particular value, then m maximum value, and n minus 1, which will say the remaining length of our sequence, and dp so that we do not do any calculation, further calculations, and at the end we will return it. So now I will again iterate why I have taken four values. So this I particular value, whether we can take it or not. Then m is the m because it is a maximum value using through which we can use in our sequence, and n minus 1 signifies the remaining length of our sequence. Okay, which we have to form, and dp so that we do not have any redundant calculations. Now I'll create a utility function and we'll pass these same values I, m, n, and dp. Okay. If n is 0, which is a valued value, we do not need to calculate anything. I mean, we have already calculated something or not, right? We have already calculated something because I passed n minus 1. And in this case, if n becomes 0, we have something, we will return 1. Okay. So that, I mean, here it was, let's say n was 1 in our input. Okay. And now we are passing n minus 1, which is 1 minus 1 equal to 0. Now it became 0, we will return 1 because earlier it was value, and no value will start from negative or 0 value. It should be strictly greater than 0. Okay. Now I will check whether this cell has been calculated or not. This dpin is equals to minus 1. Okay. If it is not minus 1, then we have already calculated it and there is no need to do any redundancy, and I will just return this cell value. If n is not 0, if this cell is not calculated, then again we'll need to calculate it. We'll need to find the result into sequence. Okay. Now I just created result variable to store the maximum result, and at the end I will just fill my DP. Okay, fill my this DP. I will say for this time I will use j because I've already used I. It will start from 2 into I because that is what we need. We need to the next the element in our sequence should be strictly double or greater than double than the previous element. Okay, it will go up to m plus 1. It has to go to m. That's why I have used m plus 1 because in Python loops are using up to. Okay. Okay, so then I will just populate it and I will calculate it. Just you have to be focused here what I am passing. There are 2 3 places where you need to just be cautious. Otherwise, it's just simple, you know, solution. So what I will pass in place of I will pass j because here we are, uh, you know, solving the question using j because I've already used I, and at this point this is the current element. This j is the current element whether we can take it or not. Okay, then m as usual because that's the maximum value which we can use in our sequence. Then I n minus 1 because already I have taken this value and taken n values. Okay, and n minus 1 is remaining length of our sequence, and at the end dp which will check for any redundant calculations. After we have traversed out of the loop, I will populate my DP with this result. I will populate my DP with this result. I would have avoided using result variable, but it's better to write clean. Okay, and at the end, I just need to return this particular cell. And let me submit it for you so that, and I will reiterate what this function is doing. Okay, yeah, it does the job in particular time because it uses memory solution. It uses DP. So I'm checking. So I've created a DP and populated all of it with -1. Then they have started my loop from 1 to m plus 1. Okay, and I have created a utility function. This utility function checks if the remaining length of any possible sequence is 0, then return 1 because it has to start with 1. Okay. If particular this particular combination has been calculated, then there's no need to do any redundancy. If that's not the case, then we will check 2 into I m plus 1. Okay, because we have to fill only the next I have said it many times because the successive value should be either double or more than double than the previous value. Okay, and at the end we'll just again call our utility function for the changed values. In place of I have j because here we are using j. We have already utilized I. Okay, and then m, which is the maximum value, n minus 1 is the remaining length, and dp in order to avoid any redundant calculations. So I hope I made it understood to you. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you. Have a nice day.